November is a beast of a month when it comes to new video games. The Christmas rush begins and we all decide what Santa will bring us this year. Like usual, this is a video series where we look at new video games and all price ranges are covered, and I've somehow found a few free games to tide you over too. So, new video games for November. Let's do this. Only last week, a trilogy of games was revealed to be releasing in November. Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. It's been 20 years since GTA 3 opened our minds to the potential of a fully open 3D world filled with criminal shenanigans. It was a phenomenon at the time which many people watching this right now have never played. It's that old. This was then followed up with Vice City, a spin on the Miami Vice 1980s vibe, becoming a criminal kingpin. And then GTA San Andreas brought us to LA in the 90s, on the cusp of gang wars and the evolution of rap music. All three games have been remastered, but retain their original art style. New lighting, updated fidelity, and tweaks to the gameplay system which were desperately needed. I mean, 15-20 years ago, if we failed a mission, we were forced to drive across the map again to restart it. That was not fun, but now that's not an issue at all. All three of these games averaged above 9 out of 10, with San Andreas being one of the highest rated games of all time. The real question for most gamers now is, which one do you start with? I'm gonna go with Vice City. If you're into this game, cause I really am, I'll be back later this month with Easter eggs and secrets you can find in all three games, so please come back for that. GTA the Definitive Edition releases digitally on November 11th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, and even Nintendo Switch. It wouldn't be November time without Call of Duty taking the limelight. This time around, it's Vanguard, the 18th game in the series. Vanguard takes the first-person shooter back to World War II as a top-secret international special forces unit fight off the Reich to end the war. Like always, you'll be globe-trotting with missions in Europe, the Eastern Bloc, and even North Africa this time. The multiplayer element remains the core of Call of Duty, with Vanguard releasing with 20 maps and all the game modes that make COD the leader in this genre. Zombie mode returns again this year and continues the Dark Ether storyline, which will actually be a prequel or prologue to the Black Ops Cold War story. That story is getting quite confusing, but the community around zombies is absolutely massive. Call of Duty Vanguard hits PlayStation, Xbox and PC on November the 5th. This year, COD has a rival, the return of Battlefield. Battlefield 2042 brings the series back up to modern times, and there's a host of changes to hopefully see Battlefield compete with Call of Duty. Some are really impressive, like freaking wingsuits in a storm, and others aren't so great, like the decision to remove the campaign portion of Battlefield to concentrate solely on multiplayer. Other changes see the class system adapted into specialists with unique special abilities. Battlefield 2042 offers 128 player game modes with huge scale wars. The size and scope is awe-inspiring. If you were on last gen, PS4 and Xbox One, you should know that those machines are locked to 64 players with a much smaller map. But all modes offer levolution, the potential that the map and the terrain changes as you play. I'm sure you've seen the typhoon which engulfs the island mid-game, sucking players and vehicles into a swirling hellhole. It doesn't always happen, but there is a chance. Battlefield has other ways to stand out, including a mode which is like Escape from Tarkov, as you and your squad go into a location in order to recover intel, picking up equipment and then getting out of there as soon as possible. The problem is, other teams of real players are here too, and should you die in the field, you lose all the items on your corpse. The risk-reward game mode has the potential to be super addictive. And finally, a game mode which lets the users create games, designing almost all elements. If you wanted a game mode of defibrillators versus knives, you can do that. What about 99 AI opponents versus 2 humans? That's possible too. The potential is limitless. Battlefield releases on November 19th on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. As we are already speaking about war, here's a free game you should know about. Remember a few months ago I showed you Enlisted. At the time it was only available on next-gen machines, and the comment section wasn't too happy about that. Well, I bring you better news this time. Enlisted is now on PS4 and Xbox One, so if you haven't made the jump to the next gen yet, you're not going to miss out on this free-to-play game right now. So if you need a fix of World War II, Enlisted is here. The key difference about Enlisted is that you actually control a squad of soldiers, not just one. If a single player dies mid-fight, you'll simply switch to another one in that unit. Enlisted is right in the middle of arcade ease and simulation realism, and their attention to detail in the way weapons handle is certainly based in realism. But you still have the potential to 360 no-scope someone if that's your jam. It's out now if you want to try it, a different take on war. Huh. Good God, y'all. Remember last month, I told you about Bloodhunt Battle Royale coming to console by the end of the year, another free-to-play game. Yeah, well, it's still not here at the time of recording, and I've also asked for an update on this, and they confirm it will release in 2021. So that's about 70 days left of the year. I'd love to say it's coming in the next week or two, but I honestly have no idea. Maybe if I stop bringing it up, it'll actually release. Either way, keep your eye out for the Vampire Battle Royale game hitting consoles later this month. Ooh, one last thing about free games. If you're here for PS Plus games, I'm unable to talk about them until Wednesday, but I can say there will be 6 this month, 3 of which are PSVR games. So dust that off and we'll chat more about that on Wednesday. What are your thoughts on Sherlock Holmes? This November, a new multi-part series releases, all about that super sleuth. Set when Sherlock was only 21 years old, we take control of him on an open-world island. We are told that there is no hand-holding in this game, allowing us to pick up quests and do whatever we like using our detective skills. I'm getting heavy LA Noire vibes from this. Sherlock is accompanied by John, who acts like our moral compass. Our relationship with John is constantly shaping, and should we fail too often or murder too many people instead of arrest them, John's opinion of Sherlock will change, impacting the story. Supposedly the gameplay is so open, almost any NPC can be spoken to, interrogated and blamed. And yes, it's possible to accuse the wrong person of a crime and the game will continue. I'll be blaming John for everything, because he's so judgmental. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 releases on November 16th on PS5, Xbox Series and PC, with PS4 and Xbox One versions following very soon. Back in 2018, Jurassic World Evolution released, a management sim in the veins of Roller Coaster Tycoon crossed with Zoo Tycoon. It did so well that it's back with a sequel, with the inspirationally titled Jurassic World Evolution 2. Wow. You'll be building a home for all your dinos and attracting visitors to your park. But of course, nothing ever goes to plan perfectly, and some aggressive dinosaurs will escape and start eating all the herbivores. You'll be rerouting circuitry and managing every aspect of your park, while singing the theme tune from the movies. Okay, I added that last bit. Jurassic World Evolution 2 releases on November 9th on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. So we started this video with a remastered game from over a decade ago, and we're finishing this video with a remastered game from over a decade ago. This is Skyrim. It's here again. To celebrate 10 years, Skyrim will release a remastered version of the 2016 version of the game on next-gen consoles and PC. Skyrim is without a doubt one of the greatest RPGs ever created, with one of the most compelling storylines too. The Community Creation Club is being embraced in this version of the game, with over 500 elements created by the public now available, including fishing, because what else do you do when you're not shouting at dragons or taking arrows to the knee? Okay, honest question now, do you own Skyrim? Have you bought it more than once? I now have it 3 times, and I'm not sure if that's a flex or an admission of guilt. Okay, so we've made it to the end. Is anyone still here? Probably not. Like usual, I have a question for you. After last month we did movie quotes. This time, I want you to explain a movie's plot badly, and I'll try and guess what it is. This could go very wrong, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm Adam, you're awesome. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.